So your quiz tomorrow, what does it say at the very top of the answers? 8 questions on the quiz. What? No calculators. I did not. There is no angle between 2 vectors. There's none of this one. Cosine theta equals dot product over the magnitude. I didn't do one of those. All right, there's none of those. That's the only one you would need a calculator for. I just didn't put it on. So anything that is highlighted will be on the quiz. Very straightforward, guys. You might be given 2 ordered triples and say, find the distance. Everybody understand that? We know the distance formula, okay? You're not going to have a calculator. If the radical breaks down, what should you do? Break it down, okay? You might be given an ordered triple and say, find the midpoint. We have to know how to do what? Find the midpoint, okay? You might be given a problem, and I'll do one of these. You might be given a problem where it says, here is the center and a diameter. Find the equation of the sphere. Remember, it's x minus, y minus, z minus. Guys, remember, what is this value right here? The radius. So if they give you the diameter,
that's just the radius, not square.
if they give you the diameter, think about a circle. Here is the diameter, right? What's the radius? It's half of that. So if they give you the diameter, what do you do to find the radius? Divide it by 2. Good, okay. What about if they give you a circle, they give you 2 endpoints of a diameter. They give you the endpoints of the diameter. What do you need in order to write the equation of a sphere? You need the center and the radius, right? Correct? So say they give you this point over here on the sphere and this one over here. Can you find where the center is? How would you find this point in the middle? No. What would you do to find the point in the middle? If you have those 2 points on the sphere, how would you find the one in the middle? The midpoint. So you use the midpoint formula, okay? And then once you found the midpoint, how would you find the radius? What formula would you use? Huh? How would you find out how far it is from the middle to the point on the sphere? The distance, okay? Think about why you use those 2 formulas. If they don't explicitly give you, here is the radius, here is the center, you just plug it in, but you might have to think a little bit. They might give you 2 points on the sphere, and you think, okay, what do I need? Well, I need the center, which is the middle, right, midpoint, and then I need the radius, which is the distance from the center to the side. So you're just using the 2 formulas that you already know, all right? Just understand that. There will be a question like this. It's going to be set up just like this. We did this yesterday in the notes. They're going to give you one of the points and the vector. You got to find either the terminal or the initial. You guys can do that fine. I'm going to do one of these completing the squares again. There absolutely will be a completing the square question. You guys have to know how to complete the square. So I'll go over the workings of this in a second. Again, here's another completing the square. Let's see what else. All right, if you're given 2 vectors, and then you have to perform operations. One of the biggest things is you might have fractions. If your problem has a fraction in it, your answer should have probably what in it? A fraction. I wrote on the quiz, no decimals. It's not going to be anything you guys can't handle, but just make sure you understand if you have a fraction, it needs to stay in fraction form. That's probably going to be the hardest part of this for you. See how this one has a fraction? Okay, look how it all worked out, where the fraction worked itself out. So no big deal, just relax. Anybody have any questions? Magnitude, we know how to find the magnitude. If you're given the vector, you just square everything, add it together underneath the square root. Very straightforward. Dot product, how do you find the dot product? It's first times first. What? Plus second times second. Then what? Plus third times third. What do you guys need to remember with dot product? Is it going to be in a vector answer, or your answer is going to be what? A singular, what do we call that? A singular value. For dot product, you're going to have one singular value. Okay, questions on that?
You said the ones that aren't highlighted won't be answered, or just might not be answered?
No, I mean, well, like these two are the same. Just, I want you, the concepts, I want you to make sure. Orthogonal, guys. What does orthogonal mean?
It equals 0.
What equals 0? The dot product equals 0. Orthogonal means these two vectors meet at a 90-degree angle, perpendicular. How do you prove that they are orthogonal? You find the dot product. If the dot product is 0, they are orthogonal. If it's not 0, then they're not. All right, super straightforward, I promise. And then there's going to be one question. I just wrote this down. I want you guys to, this is a very easy question. If they give you an equation and they say find the XY trace, the YZ trace, remember, whatever the letter is that they don't mention, what do you plug in for 0? The letter that they don't mention. Notice they say here the YZ trace. What letter did they not mention? X. So I plugged in 0 for X, and you just solve. It's super basic. You plug in 0 for the letter that they don't mention, and then you just solve. Everybody see that? Like super duper straightforward, I promise. Which one of the completing the squares do you guys want me to do?
6.
Number 6. All right, so make sure I write this down correctly, please. This is number 6. It's x squared plus y squared plus z squared. And then plus 4x minus 8z. Plus 4x minus 8z, correct? Plus 19, okay. When we complete the square, guys, remember, you want to get all of your x's together, all your y's together, all your z's together, and constants to where? The other side. So let's just do this methodically. I'm going to keep my x's together. So I have x squared, right, plus 4x. I'm going to put my box. Everybody with me? Okay, so now I'm going to go with my y. So plus y squared. Is there any other y squared? No. Okay, that's fine. What do I know that my y value is going to be then? Okay, good. Then I have plus z squared minus 8z plus my box, correct?
Yeah.
And then what do I do with 19? I subtract it, moves to the other side, so it's become negative 19. This comes over here. How do you complete the square? Every single time you take the b term and divide it by 2. So I take my b term, which is 4, divided by 2 equals what? What kind of 2? Positive 2, right? So in my parenthesis here, it's x plus 2, because it's positive, squared. Now I square this number, and I put it right there. What is 2 squared? 4. If we're adding 4 to one side, where else do we add 4? To the other. Perfect. So we just said there's nothing with y squared. It's a 0. 0 divided by 2 is 0, so you can just leave this as 0, or if you want to have like a placeholder here, that's fine. But if there's no variable with, if there's no like letter to the first power, then it's just 0. No big deal. So now I'm going to take my negative 8. So negative 8 divided by 2 is what? Negative 4. So this is plus y minus 4 squared. Now I squared, huh? Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Thanks. So many letters. This is Z. Okay, so when I square negative 4, what do I get? 16. When I add 16 to one side, I have to do it to where? The other.
So you always just adding them?
It's always, because when you square, it's a good question. When you square a number, it becomes what? Positive. Perfect. So now, guys, simplify the right-hand side. What's negative 19 plus 4 plus 16? Positive 1. You now have your equation of your sphere. Now you can tell me the center. Remember, when you pull the center out, the signs change. So what is my center for this one? Negative 2, comma.
So is this not the little vector thing?
-2, comma what? 0, comma 4. And then what is your radius? Your radius equals 1. Now, in this case, guys, this is 1, but this is really what value? R squared, right? So you have to take the square root of it. If it was 4, you would take the square root and your answer would be 2. But it's always the positive one because radius is a length.
So you add up what's on the other side of the equal sign and then you square root it.
Correct. Yep, you add up what's on the other side of the equal sign and then take the square root. Good.
And this is not vectors.
No,
Right.
this is a sphere. Yep, this is just your ordered triple. But I'm telling you, the quiz is very straightforward. It's 8 questions, but it actually works out to like 10 because I think one of them is like, here's an ordered triple, 2 ordered triples. Tell me the distance and midpoint, something like that. But it's very, very, very straightforward. Very straightforward. Questions? Okay, you guys will be fine.